with marketing in general, you obviously got a good marketing background, and some of your comments may make me feel that you probably don't believe all fitness clubs are particularly good at that. On your side hustle, which I recommend people check out because there's some great articles on there, you have some interesting sections where I learned some stuff about CAC, CTV, payback period, and they're all terms I've kind of got a rough understanding on, but probably not as much of a deeper level to you. When you look at a lot of the marketplace, and I'm generalizing, I'm not necessarily talking to any of about your clients, but what do you see as some of the big things that most operators are getting wrong that you guys probably pay a little bit more attention to and have made you very successful at bringing a lot of people into, being able to put people into facilities?
So we see a complete range of sophistication in terms of marketing techniques and channels, some done brilliantly and some not so good. I think the main gap we see is in digital and the understanding of digital channels and how to enhance them. And digital works better at scale. So it works better with having a lot of venues and being able to generate a conversion. So to get customers, the more customers essentially you're paying money to get people to come to a facility or a website, and then the more product you have in there, the more conversion rate you get. So the more you can invest in marketing again. So it's not just about gyms being bad at marketing. I don't think that's the case. I think it's about being part of a more efficient marketing machine that we can bring along. Also, the reason we launched Side Hustle was an educational piece for our gym partners. And we speak all the time to our gym partners, and some of them absolutely get customer acquisition cost, lifetime value, payback period, all these great things that determine the profitability of the business and how efficient marketing channels are being. And we like an open conversation with that, to be honest, and just saying, okay, well, what do you understand your customer acquisition cost to be? And sometimes we've heard people say, well, I don't have any cost of acquisition. We don't spend money on marketing. And then I'll see PT standing on the street with flyers, and I go, but that's a cost. That is clearly a cost. There's flyer cost there. Oh no, but that's because we're paying them. They're not in the gym at the time. And that's fine. You could see it as a sunk cost, but it's still an acquisition cost. So it's just getting that integrity around data. I'm a kind of a data background myself, so I really understand once you understand the commercial dynamics, then that's how you can grow your membership base, and that's how we can help the gyms grow their membership base.
So in terms of marketing, I speak to many gym owners, and I have a mixed view. Some people say a lot of the digital stuff that they've done or agencies that they've tried have not necessarily paid off as much as a lot of traditional stuff, and vice versa. Some people are still go out there, talk to people, flyers, very, very traditional. My guess is that there's probably some combination of both, but I do see that you're quite a digital-based business. So what do you see as some of the marketing channels that coming out off the back of COVID, where I believe people's habits have probably changed and they're not going into the offices and probably going into some of the city centres like they used to be? What do you see over at least the next sort of 12 to 24 months, some of those channels that you guys are particularly interested in that you feel are ones that are going to deliver a better return on investment than some of the other things that people may have done previously?
Because as hard as it is, online, that's where people are. That's what people are searching. Whether they're on YouTube to find out about something they're interested in. I like YouTube. I watch it quite a lot. Whether they're just searching for something online, Google, that's where people are. Facebook, Instagram, all these places. You look at the time spent on phones. It is crazy, and it has become even more crazy over COVID, to be honest. So look, these channels are strong. They're where you need to be. And that's where the audience is. That's where the eyes are. So if you're trying to advertise your brand, advertise your services, you need to be there. And that's not to say traditional advertising, flyers, billboards don't work. They do work. They're just not as targeted. So you can be a lot more targeted online. Where I see this developing and getting more interesting is around the content. I mean, what you're doing in this content, this podcast, is brilliant. And it's probably a more B2B market, but this exact content is absolutely excellent for people looking for fitness for the first time. I mean, it is just astounding to me that the brain triggers something interesting. Somebody's going, okay, I think I want to take my fitness a bit more seriously. Instantly it's phone. Instantly is starting to look for something around that. What should I do fitness? How do I improve my fitness? How do I, couch to 5K? This is all that. So that's where the eyeballs are. That's where the searches are. And being able to respond to that, being there with great content, great ideas, helping customers. If you help customers along that journey, then I think that's the best place to be to then advertise a service or a brand.
Yeah, you mentioned YouTube, and I'm a little bit like you. I don't have a television, and I've not had for a long time, but YouTube is very addictive, very smart as well at kind of delivering up some of the stuff that you're thinking of. But I did have a guest on that also does use his YouTube in the fitness sector, but he was really saying how much white space there is in there, because if you look at many of the well-known brands, they're just almost non-existent. Some of them don't even have their own YouTube channel, and he's obviously gone quite big on that. So, do you think for someone that's not that you're not working with, but do you think sort of like using that as a platform? Everyone uses Facebook and probably Instagram, so they're more well-known. But YouTube, you don't hear it talked about. You don't see as many people promoting it. How do you feel about that as a platform, specifically for people in the business of running gyms?
Yeah, I agree. There's a huge opportunity there. We don't use it, at Hussle as much as we should do. We have been there in the past, but like any channel where you can be super intelligent about what people are looking for, and then delivering them the right content, the right information, the right product. YouTube is super good at that. The data analytics behind it are incredible, and it's proven to work in lots of other sectors beyond fitness. I was looking at the stats around fitness searches, and during lockdowns, during COVID, they just went up massively on YouTube. And it was such a great space to be, great space to advertise. And obviously, if it's a facility that is focused on physical activity, it's not open at the time, but it could have been a great brand awareness building opportunity. You'd have to be careful with all these channels that you understand your the customer dynamics, the customer cost, because they're also very easy places to waste a lot of money very quickly if you don't understand. And I get the point that you said about speaking to gym owners who've spent money in digital channels and wasted a lot of money. I set up this business. I didn't have a marketing background, and it took me a while to really understand marketing dynamics. I was data savvy, but I didn't understand marketing. And outsourcing that to agencies without really understanding your own business or those dynamics first can be really dangerous, because they might not have your best interest at heart. The difference in what we do, we're not an advertising platform. We don't make money unless our facilities make money. You don't pay to advertise on Hussle at all. There is no outgoing payment from any of our venues. It's a very different dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. We've used agencies and hired people and tried a lot of different options, but I think as a as a business owner, leader, whether you're managing a team, I think the space is changing so quickly that it's very difficult to go and hire an expert that's already done it. And then you may have an expert, but in your business, that expert may not be relevant because there's so many different versions and channels and variations of it that you almost have to learn. So I think that's a good point that you make, is, you know, you try to at least get a basic understanding yourself, so that whoever you bring in and you pay a lot of money for, you kind of understand how to point them, because myself and I know a lot of others, you can burn through a lot of money very quickly and not actually get anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, staying relevant in marketing is, I mean, it's incredibly fast paced. I think about when, you know, we set up this business 10 years ago, and, you know, there were, I think 5% of our traffic, you know, and, you know, was desktop traffic, you know, 5%, other way around. 95% was desktop and 5% was mobile.
Right.
You know, a few years later, it's exactly the opposite. You know, what you're delivering, everything's mobile now, and so little desktop. And, you know, it's between mobile and app now. How you market it changes all the time. You know, it's making me feel old.
So you've clearly got a strong data background. How outside of what you do from a marketing perspective, what other things are you doing on the data to I suppose, to help your business and to help your clients? Because I suppose over that period of time, you must have some great insights into trends and I would have thought, particularly as it relates to COVID and where people are and how they're moving. Is there any sort of interesting data observations that you're starting to see now coming off the back of the pandemic that are interesting to mention?
Well, on the positive side, what we've seen is a massive rebound in search for physical fitness, physical venues. You know, that is now trending in the UK. It is trending higher than it was pre-COVID. So the demand for physical fitness, I just think people are so eager to get out there, get down the gym, do something again, and see other people, that the bounce back in terms of demand has been huge. I still think there's a nervousness there. So demand has bounced back hugely, but intent to actually go down is still dragging a little bit. On the flip side, you know, the digital services, which were, you know, did so well in COVID and, you know, went up kind of demand 3,000% when people are in lockdown, have obviously fallen back. That's expected. You know, my personal expectation is there will be some resilience around those. I think one of the trends we're seeing in terms of what people want, it's kind of, I'd summarize this as one size doesn't fit all. You know, there's a lot of options, whether it's Peloton type solutions, physical venues, and there's obviously lots of range types of physical venues, outdoor exercise. So what I'm seeing a bit more of a what's the right word? Disbursement of demands. I think the market's going to fragment in terms of what people do, what type of physical fitness, how they engage with physical fitness is going to fragment even further. And I think COVID has accelerated that.